But when we entered, apparently they told us that like no foreigners were allowed inside that restaurant.
We don't. Everyone is very helpful and ready to answer some questions if we have, and very polite.
I think there was one restaurant which looked open, but I think they just didn't want to have foreigners. But it wasn't a big deal. It was just okay.
I do feel like people are a little bit cold in general. They just want to mind their own business.
Yeah. Hi guys, how are you doing? I'm Cole, a reporter for Street Survey in Japan channel. Today I'm in Ohori Park, which is the largest park in Fukuoka City, interviewing people from overseas about discrimination in Japan. So it's the best channel for anyone who wants to come to Japan without traveling or living here. You can also learn Japanese culture. Yes, so if you haven't subscribed yet, please subscribe to our channel. Okay, let's get started. Where are you from?
So I'm originally from the east coast of America, in a very small state called Connecticut.
When did you arrive in Japan?
So I came to Japan in 2012. Yeah, almost 11 years in November.
So why are you living in Japan?
Okay, so the anecdotal story is that I really love Utada Hikaru. So
Utada Hikaru?
my dream has always been to marry Utada Hikaru because I love her so much. But on the real, I'm mostly in Japan because I've always loved Japan, and, you know, in a very subtle way, like just being a kid and having everything around you be Japanese made, like cars and radio and TV and all types of electronics. But it was very interesting because I didn't realize that any of it was Japanese until I was much older, and like I decided to just randomly check online, and I kept realizing everything that I like is Japanese. So I thought, oh, I might as well just go to Japan someday. So I just ended up staying.
Can you speak Japanese?
Yeah. I speak Japanese for my job mostly.
Really?
Yeah.
So you speak very well?
I don't know if I would say well, but I can speak pretty conversationally.
Really? そして少しだけ日本語で喋ってもいいですか？
大丈夫ですよ。
めちゃめちゃうまい。
そう、でもちょっとなんか緊張してますよ。カメラの前ではね。
So today I would like to ask you about discrimination
Oh yeah?
in Japan. Have you ever been discriminated in Japan?
I can only say maybe once, and it was very
Only
interesting.
once?
It was very interesting. I think typically I don't feel any sense of discrimination or anything at all. Actually, no, I'd say twice. But I'm not sure if I can count the first one because it might have been due to my lack of understanding, as I had just come to Japan like a few days before. So I'll start with the first one. So this was, I think, when I first arrived in like 2012. I was in like training for the company that I was working for, and after the training, all of me and like my other colleagues, the people who joined at the same time as me, we decided to get dinner somewhere nearby. And there was a place that looked really, really awesome. Like it looked very, very like traditionally Japanese. And since we're all like excited to be in Japan, we thought, let's check that place out. But when we entered, apparently they told us that like no foreigners were allowed inside that restaurant. And we were just like so mind blown by this. Like, is that even possible? Why? I'm not sure if this place even exists now, but I think that's what the guy said when we arrived. That I think maybe they want to just have Japanese customers. But it's possible now. You know, I've been here for such a long time. I can rationalize the situation. I kind of assume that it would be they don't have an English menu and no one can speak English, so it would be a little bit difficult to serve us. So I think that was the original reason why they didn't allow us to go in. But I think we were also angry about it when it happened. But yeah, looking back, it probably wasn't that big of a deal.
Some people who come from abroad said no one sit next to you when get training.
I find that very interesting because I find that only happens on one side of my body. No, everyone seems fine to sit on the right of me, but for some reason no one wants to sit on the left of me. So yeah, when I sit down on the train, I always wonder what's wrong with my armpit or something. Like maybe I smell or something on this side. Yeah, but usually people still sit next to me on this side. But I actually think this is a good thing because I get a little more leg room. That's one. And yeah, it doesn't really happen the other way. I don't have many occasions where people move because of me. So for example, if people are already sitting down and there's a place to sit, I might sit there and everyone's fine. But I think if I'm already sitting there,
Yeah.
then for some reason no one wants to sit on my left side.
Only left side. No.
I don't know why. Why left?
How about in your country? But for a very long time you left from your country.
Yeah.
But I would like to ask about discrimination in your country. Do you feel something like that?
I mean, like, America is a very controversial country when it comes to racism and things. I definitely do think that there are a lot of people who have racist ideas and beliefs.
Yeah.
I personally don't encounter them very much. I think it's one of those things. I think if you surround yourself with good people, then you'll only meet good people. So I don't have a lot of experience meeting complete terrible bigots and racists. Most of the people I'm around are all really great people.
Yeah.
But I do know that there is some kind of I don't know what to call it, like subliminal messaging or something. Like maybe it's just the way that people are raised. It's very controversial because everyone's definition of what equals racism is different, and that has created a lot of issues, I think, in America recently, as far as I can see from Japan. Like, a lot of people, of course, believe that if you are if you're not a man, if you are not white, if you are not heterosexual, then you are automatically like a target of discrimination, automatically. And if you are if you are a man, if you are white, and if you are heterosexual, then you cannot be discriminatory. I mean, you cannot be discriminated against. Is a weird concept that some people are absorbing, but I don't believe that. My basic principle is if there's someone who is different from you, it doesn't matter if your base is whatever, if anyone is different from you and you treat them any differently from the people that you consider the same as you, then it's a kind of discrimination.
I know
It's a
what
kind
you
of.
mean.
It doesn't have to be bad. It doesn't have to be malicious. But yeah, it still equals discrimination in my book. I haven't experienced too much discrimination in America directly. But I did have one more thing that I experienced in Japan.
Yeah.
But it was with also it was a much older dude. I think he was about 80 or 85. And he wanted to take English lessons at the school that I was teaching at. And I think at that time, all of the teachers were super busy. It was a very busy season. We usually do a kind of interview process before we assign the student to a class. And this man did not want to take my interview because he said that he was afraid that if he took my interview or my lesson, that he would end up learning to speak only black English, and he was very, very against it. So the boss, originally, she apologized to me, and she told me that this guy is a little prejudiced, but we are super busy, so could you please still do the interview? And we've convinced him, we only use standard English here anyway, so it's not really an issue. And so I did the interview, but he was like, でもやっぱりバックイングリッシュがちょっと苦手やなみたいな。
That's different.
I was like, it's
I
the
can't find any
same,
difference
right?
between the
I was like,
that.
it's all English.
Yeah, all English.
Yes, but so that didn't work out. He, in the end, didn't go to our school, but I thought that was probably a good idea. Better for him not to go if he didn't feel comfortable anyway.
Do you feel any changes? You came to Japan 11 years ago.
Yeah.
That time, I think there are fewer people from abroad in Japan.
For sure.
So it's getting more large number
Yeah.
of the people coming to Japan from overseas.
Yeah.
So is the situation of the Japan culture is changing?
Yeah, I think so. I think when I first got here, when I first arrived, I noticed that everyone was always looking at me. I felt like I was being watched all the time. No matter where I was going or something, everyone was very, very impressed or very, very shocked that I was there. A lot of people would come up to take pictures with me and things. And I remember that being very, very shocking. I think it was in Kyoto one time. I think I went on a trip with my classmates to a temple, and there was another school I think also on a trip, but they were high school students, and their teacher, who was a complete whole ass adult woman, she ran over to me and she was like, "Oh my God, you look just like Will Smith. Can I have a picture of you?" And she took out her Garakei phone and took a picture of us on it. I was like, why? I don't think I look that much like Will Smith or anything, but, I'm flattered. Will Smith is a handsome guy.
You're handsome too.
Thank you. Yeah, so that was one thing. I don't think I get that kind of, that type of treatment anymore. And I don't see other people on the street, for example, like doing that kind of thing so much. I don't think it's only a Fukuoka thing. I'm pretty sure, like even when I was Nagoya, I also saw that kind of thing happening less and less. So maybe it's just Japan becoming much more exposed to people outside of the country, and also I think a little bit of Japan in a sense finally realizing its own awesomeness. Because I think there was like a bit of a period where I think maybe Japanese people felt, they at least appeared to feel, kind of ashamed to be Japanese. I found that so strange, but I think more recently people don't have that attitude so much.
So thank you for your time today.
Thank you for interviewing me. It was actually a lot of fun.
Thank you so much. So have a good day.
You too. Take care, man.
Thank you. Where are you from?
Russia.
We're from Russia.
Russia. When did you arrive in Japan?
Just 2 days ago.
2 days ago. Today I have main topics to ask you. I would like to ask about discrimination in Japan.
Discrimination for foreigners.
Yeah.
I don't feel.
Actually, we don't. Everyone is very helpful and ready to answer some questions if we have, and very polite.
You haven't had any discrimination in Japan?
We haven't experienced
So
any.
yeah, I would like to ask other questions. Did you encounter any difficulties in Japan?
Maybe in language, because I think you need some basic level of Japanese
We
before
know
you
just some phrases, but we are not able to read, and that's a problem because everything is written in Japan. But sometimes we see some writings in English, but actually most of what is written in Japan.
But it's a normal situation, I think. In Russia, we have the same moment.
But we don't notice it.
Because when tourists came to Russia, they saw a Russian language everywhere.
No English signature?
In metro station, in public transport, important things for foreigners, but not everywhere.
Have you ever visited any other countries?
Yes.
India, in Thailand.
Nepal, Burma, Thailand, Vietnam. Yeah.
So many Asian countries too. Have you ever been discriminated in those countries?
In India?
In India, maybe.
In India, I think because they wanted to cheat on us every time.
Everywhere.
Everywhere.
So you don't have any experiences?
Here, no.
Especially in Asian countries, because in Thailand there are very friendly people. In Vietnam too, but a bit closed. Yeah, but if you have contact, very helpful.
Could you tell me how do you feel about discrimination in your country if Japanese people visit your country?
We are very happy to see foreigners in Russia because we are very glad when someone visits our country, and we are ready to help. Maybe from some little villages, but in big cities everyone is very open and knows English well.
So there are many immigrants from other countries?
We have immigrants from other countries, but it's nearest countries.
Like
It's,
Uzbekistan,
Tajikistan.
I don't think I saw a lot of Japanese people in Moscow.
Thank you for your time, and thank you for cooperating today.
Arigatou gozaimasu.
Arigato. So have a good trip. Where are you from?
Germany.
When did you arrive in Japan?
I think about 7 days ago.
How long are you going to stay in Japan?
I think for about 21 days.
Where are you going to visit?
Beppu, Kyoto, Takayama, I think is the name.
Takayama.
Nagano, and then
yeah.
back to Tokyo.
So is this first time in Japan?
Third time.
Third time?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
So when your first time in Japan?
2001. My father had a job
Oh really?
at
In
Mazda.
Really?
Hi.
Oh, you can speak Japanese?
No, I went to an English school, Skoshi, but not much.
Today, I would like to ask about discrimination in Japan. Have you ever been discriminated in Japan?
I don't think so. Maybe once, but I'm not sure. 5 years ago, I think there was one restaurant which looked open, but I think they just didn't want to have foreigners. But it wasn't a big deal. It was just, okay, if you don't want it, then I just go to the next one.
5 years ago. So second time in Japan?
Yes.
How about this time? You don't feel
Nothing yet.
nothing
Nothing
yet?
yet. Everyone's been polite. Nothing negative.
Other people who came from abroad, they said me about experience in train. Nobody sit next to them because of foreigner.
I don't think so, but I think,
You don't think so?
in Tokyo it was so full that
Yeah.
everybody sat next to me. I think so.
Yeah.
But I'd have to check that. But not yet. I think so.
I mean, very few immigrants from abroad. So recently, many tourists come to Japan a lot. It's about 5 years or so. So it's hard to find how we behave by ourselves to the foreigner.
I think, at least from what I've heard, my experience from the past, I think it's also a bit difficult for foreigners to recognize discrimination.
Yes.
Since the Japanese people are always very polite and
Yeah.
they want to show some negative signs, but we can't read it correctly because, for example, in Germany or Europe, I think it's more directive. If you really want to
yeah.
say, I don't want to have you here, or please don't stand here, or something like that, I think it would be more obvious in Germany. I'm not sure, maybe I misread the signs sometimes. Maybe that also happens, I can't say, but at least I haven't had the feeling.
Thank you so much.
Yeah,
Thank
you're
you for your time. Today, I want to ask about discrimination. Have you ever been discriminated in Japan so far?
I don't think so, no.
You don't
Nothing
think
like
so?
that, no.
No.
I do feel like people are a little bit cold in general. They just want
Really?
to mind their own business.
Yeah.
Not as open to foreigners. Except you, I guess. But yeah, in Canada, everyone's a little bit more open, more relaxed. Everyone
really?
seems more tense here. A little bit more focused on something, worried about something, I don't know.
Did you encounter any difficulties in Japan?
Actually, like we even go to the stores and whatnot, and everyone just uses their hands kind of to explain things if we don't understand. Like
I thought there would be more English in Tokyo, but they didn't use English as much, but they were able to communicate, so it was not a problem at all.
I would like to ask about, again, discrimination. In your country, do you feel some discrimination for foreigner in your country?
I don't think so, no.
Not so
Canada's
much.
very welcoming, I would say. Yeah.
it can be tough if you don't know English though. Everything's in English, so if you're
everything
coming
is
as a
in
visitor, like a Japanese visitor, and if you only know Japanese, it can be very tough. But otherwise, people are friendly. Like
Usually they'll take their time to answer your question. They're not as much in a hurry at all.
Yeah.
they're relaxed.
So are there many immigrants people?
Yeah, for sure.
Oh, really?
So like our town, Edmonton, it's just a bunch of working immigrants. So
Really?
doing like all different types of work.
Really?
They all come together as one community. So.
Somebody said no one sit next to you in the train because of foreigner.
Foreigner.
I felt that a little bit, but not
You
that
feel
much.
a little bit?
Yeah, a little bit. I thought maybe they were just uncomfortable because there's someone new that I've never seen. So I didn't really take it as discrimination, but
Yeah, this morning, like we were on the way to the airport.
Yeah.
Somebody did sit next to us, like
Yeah.
both sides. So
Yeah.
maybe it's just one or another.
Yeah.
Just depends on the person, whoever.
Yeah,
it
yeah,
is,
yeah.
So.
That's right.
But yeah, we didn't feel discriminated at all.
Have you ever been to any other countries?
Yeah, lots. Yeah.
A lot?
yeah. Most of Asia we've seen besides
Really?
China. So yeah.
Did you feel some kind of like that in any other countries?
Not really. I think everybody's just very curious as to what your plans are, what you're doing. You know, maybe if they can, interact and talk with
Yeah,
you,
yeah.
pick your brain and stuff. No, I never really felt discriminated
Really?
against. No. Yeah, maybe just less people interacting with us here.
Yeah.
As a society, like maybe India, if you take India for example, everyone comes up to you and asks you questions and stuff. And then here, people are just kind of like doing their own business and
it seems
Yeah,
like
yeah.
they're scared.
Yeah.
a little bit more shy here for sure.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, no, thank you. And
Thank you so much. Thank you for your time. So have a good trip.
thank you.
You too. See you too.
Okay, thank you for watching. It's getting cooler a little bit, but still hot today. I could take some interviews and it was enjoyable to hear various stories. Okay, anyway, thank you for watching. If you like this video, click like button. Please subscribe to our channel. If you have any questions, please leave your comment. See you next time.